We are always under construction, always making progress. If we are not under construction and we're not making progress, that means we're regressing. We never want to be regressing. We want to be progressing. And the important thing about progress is we're always moving forward, not moving backward. Be sure that the movement you make is moving forward. You can't allow yourself to stagnate. And when you think about it, when it comes to life, when it comes to the components of life, your career, your education, your relationships, when we say we're stagnating, we're not really in a holding pattern the way that we think we are when we make that statement. It means we're going backwards. It means we're regressing. We need to take a step forward in faith in order to progress. Come on, I'll show you how to make those steps. As we build things within our lives, we have to start from somewhere. We may first start with dirt. Find some dirt. When we're building, we have to start from somewhere. First, we start with dirt. There may be some rocks and some stones in the dirt, giving us hard patches, giving us difficult places to trod. There may be bones in the dirt, indicating that if we don't do it properly, if we do not build properly, we may get eaten alive. So we may plant something that eventually grows, but then we realize that sometimes what we've planted is just something to give us a little bit of greenery, a little something pretty. And before long, that something pretty turns ugly and dies because we haven't taken proper care of it. So then we think to ourselves, well, I want to construct something else. So we break up the ground and pour some asphalt and create pavement. But sometimes that's not even sufficient for us to have something smooth on which to trod or to drive or to ride our bikes. So soon we make markings indicating which direction we need to go, and we start building. And we progress. Or at least we think we're going to progress until we realize there's a crack in the road that we have to fix. So we fix the crack in the road or the crack in the foundation, and we continue to start building something important, or at least we think it's going to be important. We think that if we protect it, if we put a fence around it and start building, that no one will come around during our building process. There's nothing farther from the truth. There's all kinds of people witnessing your building, and they wonder what you're constructing, and they want to be in on it, but they don't quite know how. I said I would show you how to build something in your life, how to construct something important and memorable. And I am going to do that. I wanted to illustrate what the building process starts to look like in order for you to understand that you are under construction. I am under construction, and we have to think about what we're building and what we're creating. Is it going to be something useful and helpful to us and to others? Or is it going to be something destructive? We need to think about that for a moment. I would say the greater percentage of people in the world need to modify their lives by doing something else so that they can be greater and achieve more and have the lives that they were supposed to have. Have tools. You have to have machinery. You usually have to have a crew. You can't build anything great by yourself. Find people that you can learn from. Find people who will not only cheer you on, but more importantly, guide you with tools and steps, and often a crew of people that will help you build your best self. Sometimes you have to put that crew together yourself, but often when you find one or two mentors, one or two people that are interested in you, often you'll find other people that they know, family, friends, acquaintances, who will be there to help you and to guide you. There's nothing like seeing someone who's disciplined, someone who has a purpose, someone who's driven, someone who takes responsibility, and someone who's accountable and resilient, trying to build something, working, creating. There's nothing like seeing that and knowing that you have a skill, you have some expertise, you have some words of wisdom that may help that person get that much closer to his or her goal, to his or her hopes and dreams. The main thing that I think we fail to see sometimes is that in our society, it's pretty popular to complain and bellyache and whine about what all we don't have, what all we haven't achieved, what all we haven't done, without taking a step back and saying to ourselves, hey, listen, self, no one's controlling this thing but you. No other man, no other woman is controlling your life except you. You make all the decisions. You step out in faith, or you step out in disbelief, or you step out in confusion, or you step out haphazardly, and you do things, you befriend people, you date other people, you may marry people, you may divorce people. You decide, I'm going to have unprotected relations, and you decide to make that commitment and that step, and then whatever the outcome or outcomes are from that, you decide what you want to do with that. Be it a new life, be it a new illness, be it new feelings, new emotions. Emotions that may bring you to connection with someone, or emotions that may bring you disconnection with yourself. You get to decide what you want in your life. You get to decide what companies you're going to work for. You get to decide what people you're going to work with. You get to decide everything about your life, every facet, every moment of every day, from what you want to wear to what you want to eat, etc. You make the decision. I would even argue that you make the decision about what to do when things happen unexpectedly, when tragedy hits in your life, when bad circumstances and when challenges happen in your life. You decide how you're going to handle it. The one thing I would recommend is that you always keep a resume on the ready. And look at that resume, pull it out, and just take a look at it yourself. Resumes are very telling. They tell you what you've been doing for the past several years, the types of jobs you've had, the people you've worked for and with. They tell you what projects, if any, you've done. They tell you if you haven't been living up to your capacity, and They allow you to take a bird's eye look and go, wait a minute, this is not ever what I wanted. My recommendation to you is this. Leave the past in the past. Use the skills for any jobs that were misalignment with your purpose. Anything that would be considered misemployment. Use the skills from those jobs, the expertise that you gained from those jobs, and apply them to jobs that fall under the umbrella of the career of your choice, of the career that is your passion. Do not fall into a pattern of having misaligned job after misaligned job, being misemployed repeatedly, because soon you'll be older, you'll start getting gray in your hair, or you'll be completely white-haired, and you're looking at retirement, or tragically worse, your life is at its end and you don't get to retire because of some of the choices that you've made for yourself in your life. I say all of this and I share all of this because just like I'm giving words of encouragement and wisdom to you, I'm saying a lot of this to my own self because I've lived a lot of what I'm telling you. It's not an easy road. You start out thinking that you're going to build a great life for yourself. You're young, you don't quite know how you're going to do that, and our educational system doesn't really prepare you in the way that it should. And then you spend your life living out the choices that someone made at 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, 21 years old, 25 years old, etc. You spend the rest of your life living out the decisions of your youth, and you think, oh, well, gotta do that. There's nothing better. Or you think, well, at my age, who's going to take me seriously? And that can work both ways. That can work when you're young, you're walking around thinking that, and that can work when you're a little bit older and you're walking around thinking that. You don't want to at any time think the worst, and you don't want to at any time believe in the pessimistic things that people say. You need to always have a resume, even if you're not looking for a job. Even if you're like me and you're thinking, well, you know, you're even remotely listening to people who are naysayers. Well, because of my age, or because of my weight, or because of my marital status, because of whatever, the things that by federal law people are not supposed to be discriminating against. If you think that that may be an issue for you, and you're holding on to those things, those probabilities, those, well, maybe, they're excuses, man. I feel like this: if there's one person, just one, who's doing the things that I want to do and who is successful at it, it doesn't matter what he or she looks like. It doesn't matter how old he or she is. None of that stuff. It doesn't matter how much the person weighs. None of that. If that person can do it, I can do it too. I just need to study that person, get that person to be my mentor if at all possible, and learn exactly what he or she does. And mentoring is fantastic when it's vis-a-vis, face-to-face, but you can learn a lot just watching videos and reading books, reading articles, shadowing people who may not be the mentor of choice, let's say, but they do what your mentor of choice does, and they are excellent at it. You never know where any of that's going to lead. I say this: learn from the very best people. That's what I mean by mentor of choice. If someone who is doing what you want to do is so far up the pyramid, let's say, that you don't have direct access to them. That's what I mean by shadowing someone else. You can shadow someone who isn't right at the pinnacle of success as far as the world is concerned. Like, they're not rich, and let's say they're not famous, okay? Who is still excellent at what he or she does. Learn how to seek out excellence. Learn how to ask for assistance. Learn how to ask for what you need. You would be very surprised at what can happen. Often people will, like I said, if they see that you're serious, they see you're diligent, they see you have laser sharp focus, they see you have persistence, they see that you're not only hardworking, but that you can take constructive feedback, learn from it, and use it in your life. Often they will open doors to you that they don't ordinarily open to other people. Often they will take time out for you that they don't take for other people. The main point of this video is, and when I was at that construction site today, it was mainly to show that you have to build something. You can't just live out your life, all the days of your life, meet your maker, and you don't have anything to show for it. Each of us is here for a reason. Each of us has a purpose in life. Each of us has passions that were put within us from our higher power for a reason. And when it's really within you, you can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't even rest your mind until you do it. It may look like you're taking a hiatus from it, but it always comes back to find you. Other people won't understand what you're doing, but that's okay. Stop worrying about what other people think. Don't spend a lot of time on the sofa. Don't be a sofa softie. And do whatever it takes to get the life that you deserve. What I mean by that you deserve, if you're putting in the work, you're going to get the just reward. If you're doing your due diligence, you're going to get your just reward. Start believing more in yourself, and you start believing more in yourself by doing the things that make you the happiest, which builds self-confidence. You start doing that by being diligent and decisive and saying, no matter what happens, no matter how I feel, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm not procrastinating. I'm doing it immediately. I'm going to start changing my life immediately. Immediately. I'm not delaying this for another second. And when you start doing different things differently, you will become a different person. You want to do things that are going to build your life, things that are positive. When I was at that site today, there was all kinds of machinery around, signs and evidence of a whole crew working together to erect something great. And that's what I meant. It takes a whole crew to erect something great. That's why you need mentors. That's why you need people in your corner, peers who are actually in your corner. You help them, they help you. You need to have a circle of people, a sphere of influence. And I know I'm using two different geometrical shapes, but that's okay. You need people around you and in your space, and people that write books, people that do videos like this one, people that conduct seminars. You need a whole sphere of influence that is feeding you with good information, with great talk, with great skills and knowledge. You need to constantly be fed and nourished with things that are valuable versus things that are not valuable. You know, anybody can watch hours upon hours of television, and anybody can use a computer or cell phone or any of these other devices, tablets, to play around and play games and text and talk to friends and what have you. I do some of that. But use some of these devices for something good, for something to enrich yourself. From television to tablets to computers, desktops, laptops, cell phones, whatever. Use it for your good. Use it to help build. Don't use it to help destroy. Build yourself up. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.